Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a pretty powerful idea, one that might just change how you see your own life and your own struggles. We're talking about unpacking the invisible backpack. So, it all starts with a question I think a lot of us ask ourselves, probably more often than we'd like to admit. Why are we all so tired? I mean, really deeply exhausted. Is it just how crazy modern life is, or is there something else going on underneath it all? And this quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of it. It suggests that maybe our exhaustion isn't just about our own daily grind. Maybe it's about the weight of things we've been carrying for other people. Maybe without even knowing it. Which brings us right here to our first section. We're going to introduce the central metaphor for all of this, the backpack. And this isn't just any backpack. In a lot of ways, it was put on our shoulders the moment we were born. So, what is this backpack really? Well, think of it as a metaphor for all the stuff we inherit without asking for it. People call it generational trauma, and it can hide behind these really familiar words like loyalty or culture or expectations. It's all those unwritten rules and family pressures we just absorb as kids. And if you look inside, what do you find? Well, think about these phrases. They're like these heavy stones being dropped into our backpack, one by one. Make the family proud. Be strong. Don't cry. These aren't just words, right? They're instructions on who we're supposed to be, and man, do they add up. And here's the crucial part. Before we even get a chance to figure out who we are, an identity is basically built for us. It's made out of all these expectations from other people, from a blueprint we never even saw, let alone approved, and we just carry it thinking it's who we are. Okay, so what happens then? What happens when you carry a heavy backpack? Not just for a day, but for a lifetime. Well, as you can imagine, that weight, it really starts to add up. You can kind of see how it works here on this timeline. For years, we manage, we adjust, we get used to the weight. For decades, it becomes part of us, this constant low-level heaviness we can't explain. Until, for so many of us, there's a breaking point, a moment when the weight just becomes completely unbearable. And that's the stark reality of it. That breaking point often shows up as a collapse. It's the consequence of carrying all these childhood wounds that we never even thought to question because, well, we were just taught that it was our job to carry them. But, and this is a really big but, that is not the end of the story. Because right at that breaking point, something pretty incredible can happen, a moment of clarity that can absolutely change everything. This is where the healing begins. You see, real healing isn't about getting stronger so you can carry the weight better. Nope. It's about realizing you have the choice to stop carrying it at all. It starts with this quiet little act of rebellion, the decision to stop automatically obeying all the conditioning you were handed. And it all comes down to this one simple but totally profound question. True self-awareness really kicks in when you finally pause, you look at one of those stones in your backpack, that career path, the way you handle emotions, the definition of success you've been chasing, and you just ask yourself, was this ever my choice? Asking that question, that's the key. That's what unlocks this whole final part of the journey. Actively choosing who you really want to be, completely separate from the weight of that backpack. And I absolutely love this way of looking at personal growth. We usually think of it as adding things, new skills, better habits, but what if it's actually a process of subtraction, of decluttering your soul? It's about peeling away all the layers of conditioning to finally uncover the person who was there all along. So this leaves us with a really clear choice between two ways of living. On one side, you've got this inherited fear, where you just keep repeating the cycle, living up to other people's expectations. But on the other side, you've got emotional intelligence. That's the freedom that comes from finally choosing to live as your authentic self. That is the path to real freedom. And the path to that freedom, well, it's laid out in these 3 powerful steps. First, you identify and you drop what was never yours to carry. Second, by doing that, you consciously stop the cycle from continuing. And third, you finally step into a life that is truly, authentically your own. And so we have to end right here, with you. We've been unpacking this concept, but the real work, that's personal. So I'm going to leave you with this. Take a quiet moment and ask yourself, what is in your backpack? And what, after all these years, was never really yours to carry?